Today I will mostly be reviewing the Li-Ning Red Hare 9 Ultra, which I think we are all going to look back on as the shoe that changed everything. That's because when I was reviewing the Dynafish Xiaonian, I said that I think there's only one shoe that equals or beats the Dynafish in terms of foam feel, and that is the legendary Asics Megablast. I said during that review that I thought the turbo squared foam in the Asics Megablast is the very best foam of any non-plated running shoe in the market. And the day that a Chinese shoe beats the Megablast foam at Chinese shoe prices will be the day that we all start questioning the amount that we pay for certain brands. Then, just 2 weeks later, I popped these on for the very first time, and that turning point arrived. Let's chat. Hi there, I'm Chris, a journalist who loves nothing more than cutting through the marketing hype to tell it like it really is. And when I bought the Li-Ning Red Hare 9 Ultras, I had them delivered to my office. And so the first time I took them out, I started off by going for a 5-kilometer run to my office in a pair of Superblast 2s. Then when I got to the office, I changed into the Red Hare 9s and took them out. And that was the exact moment that I realized that Li-Ning has created something very special indeed. When the feel underfoot made my Superblast 2s feel about as average as it gets. And if you know me, you know how much I love Superblast 2s, and this was a real revelation. Underfoot, the Li-Ning is actually a 3-layer mix of foam. The top layer is what Li-Ning calls Super Boom. That's a PEBA foam. The next layer is also Super Boom, but it's shrink wrapped and squeezed between the other 2 layers of foam. So the red part here you can see is the shrink wrapping, and you can also see it through the window in the bottom of the shoe. And finally, the bottom layer is called Boom foam, which is a TPU foam. TPU is still bouncy, it's just a little bit firmer, a little bit more durable, and it offers more consistency in the ride. The Red Hare 9 Ultras, as a result, are disgracefully comfortable, fun, and incredibly bouncy. They also put out more energy the more you put in. So the faster you run, the better the shoes get. They're brilliant at a slow pace, but as you speed up, they just get better and better. And this foam combination, I've decided as I've been running in these shoes for the last few weeks, is the very best running shoe foam I have ever worn. This is what the Superblast 3 should have been. This is what the Megablast 2 probably hopes to be. This foam is very likely to make the Red Hare 9 Ultra my shoe of the year for 2026, but I won't decide that until the end of the year. And if you'd like to continue to see independent, honest reviews from a channel that pays for all of its own shoes, please do tap like and subscribe. It's free for you, and it helps our channel a great deal. Thank you so much. So let's take a step back and talk stats. On my dodgy kitchen scales, the Li-Ning Red Hare 9 Ultras weigh in at 257 grams or 9.06 ounces in my US size 10. That's half a size up for me, and I did intentionally go half a size up because I find Li-Ning shoes to be fairly narrow, not in the forefoot, I find them perfect in the forefoot, but narrower in the heel and the midfoot section. And size US 10 instead of my usual 9.5 was a perfect fit for me. But I think that if you have fairly normal or narrow feet, then true to size is probably going to be okay. As always, please do check returns policies and try them on if you can. The very breathable upper is made from a fairly unique material, really beautifully engineered, which has no stretch at all, but which provides a fantastic lockdown with absolutely no hot spots or rubbing points anywhere around the shoe. The laces do a great job. They're fine, perfectly average, better than anything Adidas has produced in the last decade. The padding around the heel cup is a perfect level, and the heel cup itself is reinforced. It's actually quite firm. And the thin gusseted tongue is padded in all the right places and is extremely comfortable. Stack height is 45mm at the back with a 9mm drop to 36mm at the front, and the outsole contains a thorough and generous layer of very sticky material that I think matches the best in the business. It matches Puma Grip for stickiness and for feel underfoot. And after about 40 kilometers of road running, I am seeing no sign of wear anywhere on the sole of this shoe. Also, not that it matters, but of course it does, but I think this is an incredibly good looking pair of shoes. And actually I had a little giggle on the day that I bought them, because a few hours after I bought them, I was sitting in traffic and this rolled up across the road. An automotive version of the Li-Ning Red Hare 9 Ultras that I had just purchased online from AliExpress. Vroom, vroom, ka-chow, I am speed. There is not a carbon plate in this shoe, but similar to the Adidas Evo SLs, there is a plastic shank in the midsole, which simply stops the foam from squiggling around too much and from collapsing sideways when you're standing up and running in these shoes. So why am I comparing these shoes to the Asics Megablasts? Well, like the Megablast, the Li-Ning Red Hare 9 Ultra is a do-it-all super trainer that performs better the faster you run. They're both happy to come with you on very long runs, whether those runs are at easy pace or at a fast pace, and they would both comfortably do half marathon duty or full marathon duty. Neither will break speed records during those events, but they won't be far off. And most importantly, the Megablast's foam has, I think, been the very best non-plated foam in any running shoe since its release. Turbo Squared has become the gold standard of non-plated running shoe foams. It sets the benchmark. And strangely, having said all that, it's a shoe that I reach for very rarely during my running because my pinky toe tends to get sandpapered in these shoes quite badly. But I did tape up my toes for test runs for this review, and as always when I do run in the Megablasts, I was blown away by this foam. But the Turbo Squared foam has been knocked off its very comfortable throne by the mix of Super Boom and Boom in the Red Hare 9 Ultra, which is no mean feat, especially considering the Red Hare 9 Ultra cost me 220 Australian dollars, including shipping from Hong Kong. And yet if I want a pair of Megablasts and I walk into any Asics Australia store, I am going to pay 360 Australian dollars. That's a $140 premium for this shoe when this shoe is better in almost every way. And so in what ways are the Megablast still better than the Red Hare 9 Ultra? The Megablast is a very similar shoe. It has a drop of 8mm from 48mm at the back to 37mm at the front. And in terms of what it's got over the Red Hare 9 Ultra, I'd say the laces themselves, these racing style serrated laces, are better than what you get in the Red Hare 9. And also the Megablast, if you measure it size for size, is about 10 or 15 grams lighter. Whether you notice that, and I would argue that the extra bounciness in the Red Hare 9's foam actually makes them feel lighter during the run, but on the scales these shoes are 10 or 15 grams lighter. The Megablast, and this may seem a little thing, but also has a heel loop, which I wish was on every single pair of shoes. I think it just makes getting them on so much easier. And the Red Hare 9 Ultra does not. Grip on the Megablast is nowhere near as good as the grip on the Red Hare. Not that the Megablast has a real problem with grip, I've never slipped around in it, but as you can see the coverage is not even comparable. And the Megablast, I know I've complained about this before, but it does have this strange little bib around the heel cup, which I find tends to feed trail trash. It tends to feed dirt and little pebbles into your shoe when you're running on a more natural surface. A little thing, but I have had to take these off several times and shake them out because of that. Both shoes, as I have said, have outstanding foams. Both are as good as it gets for a non-carbon plated running shoe. But the much cheaper Red Hare 9 Ultras are also just a little bit better in almost every way than the Asics Megablasts. They're more comfortable, more breathable, they have a roomier toe box, they have a bouncier and more energetic feel, and I think at least they're just more fun at every single pace. And that's why I think the Li-Ning Red Hare 9 Ultras are going to change the way we look at what we pay for running shoes. So there we go. I've often said that if Asics with their Megablast 2s can fix the toe box issue, and if they don't destroy the foam feel like they did with the Superblast 3, then the Megablast 2 might be the running shoe of the decade. And maybe it still might. But that is looking a lot less likely now that the Li-Ning Red Hare 9 Ultra has come to town. Big thanks to my brother Tim and to so many of you for telling me over the last few months that I really need to try these shoes. I owe you big time. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more independent, honest running shoe reviews. Run well. I'll see you next week.